Hi guys, I'm Shruti. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about fieldwork and give you some tips on how to successfully complete your fieldwork. Please also remember to subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. I post a new video every Sunday. Now let's get into the video. So what is fieldwork? Fieldwork is a process where occupational therapy assistant and occupational therapy students get to experience the roles and responsibilities of a practitioner in a clinical setting. So in a nutshell, fieldwork is basically internship. You basically get to go to the setting and experience the roles and responsibilities of a clinician. There are two types of fieldwork. There's a level 1 fieldwork and there's level 2 fieldwork. Both OT and OTA students must complete both level 1 and level 2 fieldwork. So for a level 1 fieldwork, there's no minimum requirement for level 1 fieldwork for either OT or OTA. So basically, your school will decide how long you will do level 1 fieldwork. So for my college, we did 6 weeks of level 1 fieldwork. I went to hospital for, I think it was 8 hours on a Friday for 6 weeks. And for OTA, what were we doing? For OTA, I believe it was the same. We did once a week for level 1 because level 1 is basically, it's more so observation. But for level 2, OTA students must complete 16 weeks of full-time fieldwork, whereas OT students must complete 24 weeks of full-time fieldwork. So the first tip I want to share with you is, for fieldwork, try to get feedback from the previous batch. That's basically the class ahead of you. They would have attended fieldwork a year or maybe a semester ahead of you. Try to ask them, how was this setting like? What went on? How was your supervisor? Getting tips or feedback from the upper class will help you in a tremendous way because they're pretty much gonna spill the beans. They're gonna tell you what to do or what not to do. So guys, try to get feedback from the upper class or the graduating class that was ahead of you. And also another tip too. If a setting is known to fail students, it might be a great setting and it's really hard to get into there. Don't try to force it because a setting like that, you're gonna have a hard time adjusting because you're gonna be so cautious and you're not gonna enjoy your fieldwork experience because yes, fieldwork is all about learning, but you also wanna enjoy your time. Because remember, you're doing level 2. For OT, you're doing 3 months at one facility and 3 months at the other. So it's basically 6 months. Whereas for OTA, you're doing 2 months at one facility and 2 months at the other. So you're spending 8 weeks for OTA or 12 weeks for OT. You want to enjoy that time. Yes, you want to learn also. If it's one of those settings where they try to come off as more tough, don't force it. Of course, if your fieldwork coordinator is the one that places you there and you don't really have an option, then you have to go. But if you have the option, don't try to get into one of those facilities because you're not going to enjoy your fieldwork experience. And just to piggyback off that, some college may give you the option to choose, whereas some may. To get fieldwork settings, it's really difficult, especially if you're in an area where there's a lot of OT schools. Let's say in the tri-state area. Your fieldwork coordinator might be competing with a lot of different colleges. So you selecting where you want to go might not necessarily be easy, or they might not have the opportunity to let you select where you actually want to go. But if you have the option to select where you want to go, I would say select somewhere where you get feedback that the supervisor is nice and they have a track record of students passing. Because if you fail your fieldwork, you have to repeat it. If you're an OTA student, that's going to delay your graduation. Also, if you're an OT student, that also will delay your graduation. So my thing is this: keep it simple. If you have the option to select where you want to go, try to select somewhere where students are going to pass and your fieldwork supervisor is nice. Another tip I want to give you is, guys, don't challenge your fieldwork supervisor. I know you might know more, well, not even say no, I know you might remember more frames of reference, more theories, more stuff from the textbook than your fieldwork supervisor. But you know what, guys? Try not to challenge them. They might have graduated, let's say, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, however long. To be a supervisor, to be a fieldwork supervisor, you need a minimum of a year. So it's not it's not realistic or practical that you're gonna get a fieldwork supervisor who graduated a year or two ago. So you might get a fieldwork supervisor who graduated 10, 20, 30 years ago, even 40 years ago. If that's the case, they might not know, the most up-to-date information that's in the textbook. You might know it because you know what, you're in school. And when you graduate, after 10, 20 years, if you're not in academia, you're not going to know the most up-to-date information also. So that's one of the beauty of fieldwork students. They kind of bring something to the fieldwork supervisor to help them to kind of get up-to-date on some of the newer research and stuff from the textbook. But guys, that doesn't necessarily mean you should go there and you want to show how smart you are. Don't challenge your fieldwork supervisor because not everybody will like it. Let's say they made a mistake about something. Don't try to correct them in front of everybody. Maybe, find a nice way, maybe pretend like, I'm not sure about that. Can you go over it again? Because maybe they made an error and it's not that they don't know, but maybe because, they're talking to maybe more than one people, they mistakenly say something. So maybe, later on, if they're reviewing stuff with you, just go over and say, can you repeat that? Or can you just go over it a little more? Let me better understand it. Maybe at that time, they'll realize that they made a mistake. But don't go in front of them and try to challenge them or try to correct them in front of everybody because, guys, you want your fieldwork supervisor to like you. I'm not saying you're going to be kissy to them or anything, but if you have a good relationship with your fieldwork supervisor, that 8-week or that 12-week will go so much smoother. You don't really want to ruffle the feathers with your fieldwork supervisor. So, guys, don't challenge your fieldwork supervisor. Another tip I want to talk about is be prepared. Let's say you're on a neurologic floor of a hospital or you might be in a pediatric setting and your fieldwork supervisor might tell you that tomorrow you're going to do X, Y, Z. Make sure you get your textbook or PowerPoint, past PowerPoint from school and look over stuff. Be prepared because you don't want to be fumbling or, acting like the school didn't prepare you well or you don't know anything. Just be prepared. If you're going to do a presentation or you might, maybe it's time for you to start treating actual kids or actual adults. Just be prepared. Maybe you can ask one of your classmates or ask a former student who went to that setting. You want to be prepared because it's also a good look for your school. The last thing you want is the setting is going to say that, oh, I'm not going to take students from that school anymore because they're not prepared. Do yourself the due diligence and be prepared. Always, always be prepared. And another thing I want to talk about is after fieldwork, try to stay in contact with your supervisor. Because you're a new grad, you're not going to have anything on your resume that says, oh, you have 6 months, XYZ. The only experience you're going to have is from your fieldwork supervisor. So being able to get a nice reference letter from your supervisor, it's going to be really helpful in the job searching process. So I would say stay in contact with your supervisor. Well, stay in contact with your supervisor, granted you passed the fieldwork. And guys, this is my quick little video. I hope this video will help you because at the end of the day, we have to be practical. Me personally, I prefer getting a fieldwork setting where the supervisor is nice and I'm going to pass. I wasn't trying to repeat when I went to OTA school 2 months ago. No. So I'm not saying that, they shouldn't be preparing you well, but there are supervisors that do prepare you well and are also nice. So if you have the option to choose, try not to choose those places. I'm not saying you shouldn't challenge yourself, but when you get in the field, after you take your boards and pass, then you challenge yourself. But whilst you're a student, just play it safe, go to your fieldwork setting, get your passing grade, finish school, and pass your boards. Keep it simple, just like that. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And please guys, share this video with someone who you think it might help. Also, click the notification button so you get notified every time I post a new video. I post a new video every Sunday. And guys, please share this video. Help me to bring my subscription up to 1,000 subscribers. Hope this video was helpful. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.